Alrighty, we are streaming live here on YouTube. Ruben Obed here is live, and we're streaming live here from GB Music Group Studios in Dorado, Puerto Rico. I mean, sorry about that. My microphone was bad. Anyway, guys, this is a video that talks about solar. It talks about the difference between, not really the difference, why I prefer a 12 volt system over a you know um over a 24 volt system. Now, anybody who follows solar knows that everybody talks about putting, that 24-volt system is more efficient, and blah blah blah. And they're not lying. They're not lying. There are certain benefits to having a 24-volt system, and there are some big disadvantages, and I'm going to tell you. All right, let me start with the negatives about a 24-volt system. When you take two 12-volt batteries and you put them in series, which would mean you would take the negative from one battery and you would be connected to the positive of the other battery. And now, the amperage stays the same, but the voltage multiplies. So if it was two 12-volt batteries, now you have a 24-volt battery bank. Now, what happens with that is this. Now you have this 24-volt battery bank, and you buy a 24-volt inverter. Beautiful. Now you have this inverter. It's supposedly more efficient, but one of your batteries dies. What happens? You're shit out of luck. Your system doesn't work anymore, because if one of the cells on your battery bank goes bad, you know, you no longer have the 24 volts. Therefore, your inverter doesn't work. All right. That doesn't happen with a 12-volt system. If you have the same two batteries and you connect them in parallel, which is positive to positive, negative to negative, and you have an inverter and you hook it up to the 12-volt battery bank, the voltage is still 12 volts. Your amperage gets multiplied. It might not be as efficient, and honestly, it's very minimal. It might not be as efficient, but if one of the batteries dies, your system is still working. Your system, because it's 12 volts. So what happens? Okay, well, your one battery is dead. It died. You still got electric. You see? Now, in terms of solar, it's the same thing. You guys remember when the Christmas tree lights, they actually do them differently now. But you have a Christmas tree light and one bulb would go out and then the whole string would go out. That's because those Christmas lights were in series, the same as the 24-volt concept that I was talking about. Now, I prefer having a Christmas tree that, the lights are in parallel. If one bulb blows, it blew. Who cares? Christmas tree's still lit. And that's part of the reason why I remain with a 12-volt system. The same holds true with the solar panels. When you have your solar panels in a 24-volt series configuration, okay, it works beautifully. It is efficient. It's actually better if you have long runs, because the 24 volts is, it's stronger, and you have less losses, and you can use thinner wires because the amperage is less, which is fine. But guess what, guys? If a big palm tree leaf, I live in Puerto Rico, if a palm tree leaf falls on top of your solar panel, or if one of your solar panels gets shaded, your whole system isn't producing power anymore, because of the same thing, because of the whole, one light bulb went out analogy about the Christmas. When you do stuff in series, you multiply the voltage, 24 volts. Okay, beautiful. You got these two panels. It gets shaded, you're shit out of luck. Now, my solar array is all in parallel. If one of the panels, I don't know, let's say a cat falls asleep on top of one of the solar panels, hey, I'll just get a little bit less power. but I'm still generating power. Now, if I have a my solar panels in series and a cat lays on top of one of the solar panels, my whole power production is affected, you know? So I in good conscience cannot, right, you know, and in my personal situation, I cannot prefer 24 volts because it's a problem. I'll give you another a perfect example. Right now, I got a 12-volt system. Um, if my inverter messes up, I'll just go to Advanced Auto Parts up the street. They sell 12-volt inverters. I'll pick one up. They don't sell 24-volt inverters. I'd have to order that. It's another problem. That's accessibility. You know, when you're in a power down situation, you don't give a damn if it's 24, 58, whatever volt. You want your damn lights on. You want your fan on. Then you got to go with what's more practical. All right. Now, in terms of charging, let's say you got a 12-volt solar system and you got your solar panels, and then you ran across 3 or 4 days of, it's clouds and rain or whatever, and you need to turn a generator on and hook up a battery charger. Hey, that's no problem. You could have eight 12-volt batteries in parallel. They're still 12 volts. So you hook up that battery charger to that battery bank, boom, it's charged. It gets charged. You can't hook up that same charger to a 24-volt system. You have to have a specialized 24-volt charger, or you have to manually disconnect every single battery and charge each one of them individually. Why? Because your ass wanted 24 volts. You know, so to me, I don't care if I have to use thicker wires and maybe pay a little extra, for thicker wires, because the reality is it's more practical to have a 12-volt system. Now, guys, when I'm talking about this, and I want to emphasize this, I'm not talking about bigger solar systems. Like you have like, a roof full of them, and you're running a 6,000 watt inverter. No, not that. It's clear to say that in those cases you need 48 volt, 24 volt, 48 volts, and even higher. you know I'm talking about the minimalist. I'm talking about the person who has a small solar system for power outages. Um i i don't recommend you going the 24-volt route. Even the LED lights, 24-volt bulbs are expensive, and you have to like order them. You could go to a Home Depot and buy 12-volt LED bulbs. You see what I'm saying? 12 volts is easy, it's simple, it's accessible, you know, and that's why I favor 12-volt systems. Now, that being said, 12-volt systems in terms of, it has its limitations. If you have a 12-volt system, probably like the biggest inverter you could probably get away with is like a 2,000 watt inverter. Anything above that, you should have 24 and 48 volts. So that is the limitation of a 12-volt system. you know um but 12 volts, man, it's great, it's practical. Right now, my system, my 12-volt system, consists of 6 marine deep cycle batteries, which a lot of people in the solar community say, oh, but those are not true deep cycle batteries, those are hybrid batteries, and blah blah blah. Look, let me tell you something. Let me go back to the analysis. In a shit down scenario, you don't give a damn if they're deep cycle or not. Your ass needs some damn power. Your ass needs to sleep with a fan on. Your ass needs some lights. You know what I'm saying? Now, I wouldn't go out that far and recommend car battery. Car batteries are not for that. Car batteries, if you deplete them and recharge them, shit, 5 6 times, they're done, they're dead. But a deep cycle marine battery, you could bring that down to 50%, and they're gonna last you a whole bunch of years. Keep that baby on float, either with your solar panel or with your charger. you know But like I said, I'm talking about chargers, man. You could you if you one of your batteries goes wrong, goes bad, you go up the street, go to a tire shop, go to a Advanced Auto Parts or a Pep Boys, and you pick up one of them deep cycle marine battery shit. You can say give me 5 or 6, and they're cheap. They're like 80 to 100 bucks. You could pick them up at Walmart, and that's what I'm trying to say. I know, guys. I know the ideal way. It is ideal to have, you know, battleborn lithium batteries. It is ideal to have them big ass Trojan, that are 6 volts, and you have them in series, and you get a hell of a lot of power. But all of that costs a lot of money, which most people don't have, and most people can't afford, you know? And then we hear these recommendations online talking about, oh, 24 volts is better. Better most of the time is more expensive, you know? And there's enough people talking about the ideal scenario, talking about these high price. I watch these videos and I see these people with these midnight charge controllers and Outback charge controllers. Yo, let me tell you, them Outback charge controllers, they're like $600 for a charge controller. People like me can't afford that. So what I do? Well, yeah, I went MPPT. I went with an EP Ever Tracer 30 amp. It is MPPT, but some people can't afford that. So I won't criticize if somebody got a $10 PWM charge controller. Hey, it works, and that's what's important, for it to work, for it to not leave you stranded. You know what I'm saying? So that being said, guys, another thing that I want to mention, and they get a lot, they get a lot of criticism. The flooded lead acid batteries. Look, flooded lead acid batteries. What do you got to do? You got to put distilled water in them occasionally. That's it. Take off the little cap and put a little bit of water. I do it every month on my battery bank. I check water levels are fine. If it needs a little bit of water, it takes me 10 minutes, you know. So some people, they complain, oh, but those batteries, they off gas, and they have them in a ventilated area. I've had them for a couple years already. Never had no problem with gassing or nothing. If you're gonna go in an RV, and you have you have them on an RV, and you're gonna put them sideways, with absolutely, get one of those AGM batteries, get Battleborn lithium if you got the money. But one of them Battleborn lithium batteries is like what, $800 for one battery? $800. Who the hell has $800? Let me tell you, if I had $800 for one damn battery, I wouldn't even give a damn about solar. My ass would be like, fuck that, I'll just pay my electric bill. Or I just buy a big ass generator. I don't care. The reality is, man, a lot of these solar things are really expensive, and we got to teach people how to do it frugally, because that is the majority of us. You know what I'm saying? That is the majority of us. I struggled to buy my $100 uh EP Ever Tracer MPPT charge controller. $100 for me, that's hard. You know, it's hard to buy batteries when you're on a tight budget. When you know what I'm saying. So, I even, whatever situation I may be in, if my like finances permit me at some point to upgrade and have an expensive setup with Battleborn lithium batteries, oh well, amen to that. But I am not gonna step away from the practical side of solar, because I know that the majority of the people, just want something to, get by. Look, I went through Hurricane Maria, man. And when Hurricane Maria came by, I didn't know nothing about electricity. I didn't know nothing about power. Nothing. I'm talking nothing, guys. To the point, all right, that a friend of mine from Georgia, he told me to, buy one of them little USB things that you put in the lighter socket of a car. And what he was telling me is that you put the two cables and you could hook that up to a car battery. I burned like 5 of those. I couldn't figure that out. All right. I couldn't figure it out. How did I get by Hurricane Maria? I bought a car battery. Oop, another mistake. But guess what? That car battery and that little USB thing let me charge my phone. That's how I started. Not too, just not even 2 years ago. And my best friend kept, from Georgia, started talking to me, and I started watching tutorials, and now right, I have this knowledge. And guys, I'm not telling you, right? I'm not telling you to take this ghetto approach to everything. If you have the money to get yourself a badass 48-volt system, go right ahead. You know what I mean? But I want to teach the little people. I want to teach the people who don't have the money, who still need to have some solar backup or something. Though that's I would call that that's my market, because the reality is, man, a lot of people think that solar is like out of their grasp, like they can't afford it. No, man, that's the problem. Like, I have a brother-in-law who recently he came over. He couldn't believe I had a solar system because he thought that had to be connected to the grid, and it was a $20,000-$30,000 investment. That's most of the people. That's what they think, and it's not the truth. You know what I'm saying? And we need to stop making things more complicated than they what they really are, because what that does is scare people, and then people won't learn how to survive, you know so guys, I'm here. I have a couple of videos, about my solar system. Check them out on my channel. I'm accessible if you want to build a little 12-volt system, and you don't know how to do it, and you want to go the ghetto easiest route. I'm the man for you. You write to me, and I'll tell you, how to get it done the easiest, most practical, most minimal way. And that being said, before I close out, a lot of people, they talk about their solar systems, their expensive ass solar systems, and they say, "Oh yeah, well, this is a cheap, or an inexpensive solar setup. Oh yeah, it'll only cost you like 4,500 to $5,000. Motherfucker, that's not cheap. That's not cheap. You know, some people don't got that kind of money. You know what I'm saying? So, anyways, and pardon my French, guys, but that's all I want to say. So that I prefer 12-volt systems. If you poor, if you ain't got a lot of money, and if you want to build your little solar system and you want to start off with 12-volt system. Trust me on this. You ain't gonna get electrocuted because 12 volts will not penetrate your skin. The only thing, don't throw something metal on top of the two posts of the battery. Then you you can have an issue there. But you ain't gonna get electrocuted. And it works, and it works really, really well. 12 volts. I'm the 12-volt guy, man. But anyway, guys, well, take care, guys, and God bless you all. And like I said, feel free to write to me if you have any questions regarding solar, and I'll try to point you into the right direction. And like I said, 24 volts, it's good. I'm not downing it, but it's not practical, at least for the beginner. It's not practical. I'm not doing 24 volts anytime soon. It's not even in my plans. So, all right, guys, take care. Ruben Obed.